Who's staying in Adhyāsa 302?
That is me.
You lost. Oh, perfect. I came to the right person. Oh. Now we did. Perfect. So we tried a little different with the cushions.
Wonderful. Thank you.
See if you like it.
That was fun. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Anadhikata Arthavat Phalabodhakam Pramanam. What is this? This is the definition of the word pramana. Pramana means, what does it mean? Means of knowledge. And this, in order to qualify as a means of knowledge, something has to fulfill these three conditions. We should not come to know of it from any other way except through that way. It should be the knowledge of which or the knowing of which should be meaningful to me. And then what? It should have some purpose. You know? And so the Veda in itself is a means of knowledge, because it meets these conditions, as we have seen. Now the Veda is generally divided into two portions. The first portion is called Karma Kanda, Karma portion. You know, a portion that deals with do's and don'ts, full of vidhi, injunctions, nishedha, prohibitions. This is the first portion of the Veda, full of injunctions and prohibitions. Satyam vada, dharman chara. Even though it comes in the Upanishads, this is a, what is that? A residue of the first portion of the Veda. Speak the truth, study one's Veda, suram na pibet, don't drink alcohol, kalanjam na bhakshayet, do not eat anything that has flown, swum, crawled or walked in its previous incarnation. This is all, this is how it is. And then, if you want something, Svarga Kamaha, Somena Yajeta. Svarga Kama means what? One who is bound for heaven. One who wants to go to heaven. Because there are many people who want many things. The whole compendium of desires is yajnafied in the first portion of the Vedas, is converted into prayer in the form of rituals. Why do we have to convert it into prayers? Because otherwise, if one is left to one's own devices along with one's desires, then devastation results. Because the force of the desires, Vega in Sanskrit, the pressure exerted by the desire is called Vega. Kama krodhodbhavam Vegam. Yashaknoti ihaiva sodhum praksharira vimokshanat kama krodhodbhavam Vegam sa buddhiman sa sukhi naraha. So this pressure is the one that is very difficult to release. Because the desire doesn't keep quiet. Prayunkte, it keeps on, goading. Like, there is a little goad for the thick-skinned cattle, buffaloes, etc. And if, let's say, the buffalo has a name, Bhima, oh Bhima, yeah, you have to have appropriate names. Cow is Lakshmi, buffalo has to be Bhima. Bhima, please get up. It's not going to get up. Horse will get up. You go, it will get up. And you do the same noise to the buffalo, it will keep chewing the cud and holding up traffic. So Bhima needs a goad, correct? And with the help of the goad, then it will get up. So the desire is like a goad that makes one get up and do things because you cannot stand it to not have it fulfilled. That is the desire. This is called Vega. And if the person is left with one's desires, then, all kinds of problems come. Because to fulfill those desires, the mind works in overdrive, the brain becomes very, very, active. And then one is convinced. The conscience, dharma, it is just easily, you give it a big beat on the head and make it sit down. Shut up. But this may not be right. Shut up, sit down. Who's talking to you? And so then after half an hour of this kind of a thinking, a bank robbery sounds just right. Yeah. Why? Because I want security, artha. I want, I have a love for money, kama. And so this is the way to do it. So the purpose of the first portion of the Veda is to keep these jivas in line, because otherwise there is no discipline. And the Veda cannot tell the person, don't have these desires. It's useless. Don't have these desires means what? As though you can, control desires. In fact, desire is a manifestation of Bhagavan. Kamosmi bharatarshabha. Dharma aviruddha bhuteshu kamosmi. I am that desire in the form of human beings, which is unopposed to, does not compete with dharma. That is unopposed to dharma. Dharmic desires are Bhagavan itself. Bhagavan says, so desire is a vibhuti, is a gift of the Lord. So you can't keep on saying, I want to control the desires. I want to remove the desires. Then what will happen? You'll be left with one desire. I have to remove all desires. I have to remove all desires. Then I have to remove the desire to remove the desire. Then after that I have to remove the desire to remove the desire to remove the desire to remove the desire. And then you will be here, for the whole class we can do this. But why? You get the point. And so therefore, this is an important intervention here, where the Veda, which is like 1,000, and we have to add the word functional mothers. Yeah. 1,000 functional mothers who loves her offspring. Hitaishini sahasra matravat. So like 1,000 functional loving mothers, she only wants hita, what is beneficial to you. And from that place, what does she do? She just says, please convert these desires into yajna. In fact, she doesn't say please convert. She says, I have converted your desires into yajna, into a form of prayer. Because you don't call all the shots. You don't call the results. You don't have a say over the ends, only the means, which are your actions. Ishvarize your actions, prayerize, and then whatever comes, let us see that it is in keeping with your desires, you pray for that. So all the desires are converted into prayer. That is the gift of the first portion of the Veda. And so it is what? Here a yajna, there a yajna, everywhere, yajna, yajna, yajna. This is what the whole first portion of the Veda is. Yeah. Everywhere. Just prayer, 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 prayer. You want a child? Pray. You want money? Pray. To whom? Goddess? To Goddess Lakshmi. You have to go to the right source. Yeah. So, because if you pray to Lord Shiva and say, please give me money, he'll say, what do you need it for? Have Vedanta instead. Let me manifest in the form of Dakshina Murti. Yeah. So you have to go to the right source. And this is what the whole thing is. So the whole Veda is, the first portion of the Veda is called Karma Kanda because it disciplines the jiva brilliantly by disciplining the desires. Yeah. Desires are disciplined, the whole person is disciplined. It's amazing. It puts the desires on a diet of prayer. What are we having for breakfast? Prayer. What are we having for lunch? Prayer. What are we having for supper? Prayer. Dessert, sweet prayers. That's all. Whole day, that's all it is. And then, of course, better than the keto diet, this prayer diet is very good for weight loss. What kind of weight loss? The loss of the desires themselves. Because it takes so long to fulfill one desire, you say, okay, never mind. So many yajnas, and then so little time, what to choose, how to do. And then, doing the yajna is not so simple. Here we have modernized everything. We go to the shop, buy ghee, and we go to another shop and buy wood chips. We go to the third shop and buy some bricks, and we call it, anyone, even a child can do yajna, no problem. But that's not how it was. That's not how it is prescribed. You have to make the bricks with the subsoil. And then it has to be heated up in the sun. There should be no cracks. And let's say you need 108 bricks and the 97th one cracks. You have to start from 1. Yeah, like that snake and ladders board game. You keep throwing the die and moving. And then, number 97, there is a bada snake, which is not a rope, which is really a snake. And then that goes back to 1. That's how we have the expression, back to square 1. This is how we got the expression. This is how everything is, because, the yajna is what? Adridaha. Plavahyeta adrida yajna rupaha. Mundakopanishad. Dear friends, says the Mundakopanishad, the raft which you have crafted a raft based on the results of karma phala yajna. And you have tied it together with pieces of shraddha, imperfect shraddha. And then you're off. Where? And you're using this makeshift vehicle to cross over the raging waters of samsara. Plava means boat. It's like a paper boat in a tsunami. What good is that going to do? It's going to capsize the minute you put it there. So too this reliance on the karma phala, on the results of action to fulfill your desires is like, sitting in a makeshift raft, stapled with a little bit of trust. And then what happens? It will fall apart. It will fall apart. Why? Because that is what karma phala does. Results of action, if there is a definition of results of action, we can just say that which comes to an end is results of action. In other words, that which is super finite. It's finite. It comes to an end. Oh, but why do the results of action come to an end? Well, they come to an end because the actions which you used to craft the results of action are also finite. So the results of action, karma phala, is finite because the karma itself is finite. How much money can you use? Can you give away? Purta karma. How much money can you give away? Even the richest person giving away all her or his wealth, it's a finite number. The check will have a finite amount. How much can you pray? How much can you meditate? How much upasana can you do? All of that. Upasana is manasam karma, mental action. So mental action, verbal action, physical action, no matter what you do, it's all finite, 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 finite. And therefore what? It has a certain limit. All this prayerizing, ishvarizing the desires and hoping to get something out of it. It is just keeping the status quo going. And last night I talked about how the status quo is that which one wants to get out of. One is not happy with the status quo. One is not happy at all. Why? Because I want to be something other than what I think I am. Even if you ask the most accomplished person, I wish I could be better. I wish I could have more. I wish I could be more accomplished. I wish I could be less guilty. I wish I could have something or the other. This is what the whole thing is. So the first portion of Veda, even though it's a valid means of knowledge, it is a valid means of knowledge for what? Gaining things that are pramana siddha. We talked about two things. What were they? Sudden quiz. Pramana siddha and swatas siddha. Very good. Swatas siddha, self-evident. Pramana siddha, needing to be gained with the help of a means of knowledge. Needing to be understood or gained. So all that is pramana siddha, validated, ratified by a means of knowledge, all that is what? That is the subject matter of the first portion of the Veda. Definitely. And if that is the subject matter of the first portion of the Veda, that means it is talking about, Vishayas, subject matters that are dear to one but are away from one, like riches, children, better job, better friends, happy family life. There is even a mantra for that. You can ask about it in the satsang. So, how to stay without arguing. There is a mantra for that. And so all these things, these are all things which we can objectify, in other words. So it's important to see that pramana siddha vishaya are things that I can objectify with the help of the means of knowledge that I have at hand. Pramana siddha vishaya include everything in this jagat, starting with this body-mind-sense complex. Because this body, this mind, these senses, they're all what? They're all, objectifiable. So I want health, then, Dhanvantari is always there to pray to. I want this, I want that, I want, Roga Nivaranam. And so Trayambakam Yajamahe, one chants, all these things are there. So, therefore, this is this is something which has to be understood. That the first portion of the Veda is meant for emotional growth, therefore. By making one sick of having desires. The Veda doesn't say, don't act upon the desires. Act, but act in this particular way. The Veda doesn't say, don't have the desires. Have them, but this is how to go about fulfilling them. And then one grows up. How? By seeing how difficult it is to even fulfill one desire, let alone the whole gamut of it that is dancing in the head. Even one desire to fulfill, so hard, so tough. And so what? So therefore, if the first portion of the Veda has been successful in one's life, then one starts getting interested in what is called Vedanta. Because it brings one to face with the finite, and then inevitably the question arises, but I want something that is lasting. I want something that does not have to be always kept up with the help of prayers, with the help of all this effort, ayasa. Anayasena. Without any ayasa, there should be something there. I want that which is, in other words, forever. This is what the whole thing is. You know, sometimes children write and then they sign the card, BFF. Huh? What is that? Forever, yeah. They know what this forever is. BFF. Will you be my BFF? One 12-year-old asked me, you know, best friends is not enough anymore. Forever. Because even the 12-year-old knows best friend today can have a fight tomorrow. And then it is, you know, best friends, NFF, not forever. But here, what do we want? FF, forever. Maybe please have some air. Yeah, it's a little stuffy. Oh, something is wrong with it? Okay, no problem. We can just fan ourselves. Yeah. So, don't worry, that's okay. So, what is this forever, which even the 12-year-old knows that it wants? And then we can fast forward to somebody who's celebrating, you know, their 5th wedding. Yeah. There too in the vows. This time it is forever. What about the other 4 times? Shh, don't talk inauspicious things. Right now it is, we are hoping this will be forever. So, therefore, this forever is an obsession. When? Forever. One is wanting that all the time. One is hardwired for this forever, which one seeks in the never forever. In other words, one seeks the finite, you know, one seeks the infinite in finite places. Always. I want this marriage to last forever. 2 months later, I think we need some space. I think we need to have a little bit of space. And then what? I want the children to last forever. Oh no, they are teenagers now. They are young adults. I want the house to last forever. And then what? I'm sick of it. This is, you know, and it doesn't last forever. Cracks develop, so one is always filling the cracks all the time. The crack is not in the walls, it is here, really. Oh. The vision is cracked. Where I look for the forever in the not forever spaces, places all the time. But the forever I want. Even a 12-year-old knows that. I want something which is always. So forget the word happiness, ananda. Because that ananda is of no use if it lasts for 5 minutes. Who wants that kind of ananda? That kind of ananda nobody wants. So actually what one is looking for is ananta, not ananda. That ananta, which is the meaning of the word infinite, eternal, is converted into ananda for our brains. Because the jivas cannot fathom the concept of something that is eternal. And therefore it is converted into a word that we can understand. Happiness, joy, etc. Because that is something which we can be in touch with. Then you go to a spiritual, go to a spiritual class. And there you hear the everyday happiness is nothing compared to this special happiness. And what is that special happiness? Brahman happiness. Brahman means that which is the source of everything, Ishvara, the whole, that which is self-existent, and that which is all knowledge, that which is forever is Brahman. And that Brahman happiness is a special experience. This is pocketbook Vedanta. Yeah. It's like there are many chocolates, but this particular brand of chocolate is better than all other chocolates. It's a special experience. This is a setup. It's not a setup to enter the second portion of the Veda. It is a setup for disaster. Because if this thing which we call the infinite, Brahman, the truth of oneself, that which is forever, which I am looking for, if it is a special experience, then one will still be longing for it all the time. Why? Because, just look at the word, special experience. Because there was a time where it was not. An experience is that which comes and then goes. So there was a time where this Brahman happiness was not. Now there is this special experience called Brahman, and then after that what? Gone. This is not in keeping with the human aspiration. And what is the human aspiration? Starting from the age 10 or 12 when you know how to write, best friends forever. That forever is there in the heart. In the heart that cannot even articulate complex, spiritual concepts. Even that heart is yearning for the forever. And so that, what does that show? It's a universal want. It's a universal desire. The desire for the infinite is a universal desire. And that universal desire is subject to being fulfilled. How? At least people attempt to fulfill this desire for the infinite by looking in finite places. Like the grandma, village grandma, who lost her embroidery needle. And then what happens? The helpful youngsters of the village gather. She's looking for it under a street light in the village square. And all the young people gather and they look, sift through the dirt, they cannot find it. Then somebody finally, one person says, "Grandma, where did you lose it?" "Back in my house, a kilometer away." "Now why are we looking for it here?" "Because I don't have electricity in the house." That is what our quest is. Looking for something in the wrong place all the time. wrong places. And then, this is in keeping with the human aspiration. So where is this forever? Where is this thing called Brahman, which is described in the Taittiriya Upanishad as Ananta, forever? Satya, that which is undeniable, that which is unchanging, non-negatable, unchanging truth, which is all knowledge. Where is this? You cannot say where, because it doesn't have a location. Oh, it doesn't have a location means what? It is all pervasive. It has to be. If it doesn't have one location, it has to be everywhere. So if it is everywhere, then how come I can't find it? And whatever I hold on to, is not lasting, is always finite. Because the seeker is you. And that which you seek is also you. And the journey is you. So all there is to do is make a U-turn. That's all. That's all it is. You have to make a U-turn because it's really all you. U-turn meaning you turn away from this wrong connection between the sadhana, means, and the sadhya, the end, that one has been pursuing for life after life after life after life after life. So where does this leave us? So the pursuit itself takes on a different hue. The desires, drop in the wake of this understanding that all that I want is this forever. There's only one desire, which we split in the Shastra according to 4 Purusharthas. Dharma. Purushartha means human goals, human ends. Dharma, Artha, Kama, and then Moksha. Finally, as though it's an afterthought, comes at the very end because you don't want to scare away the people. Yeah. Already Vedanta doesn't have a lot of takers. And you don't want to lose the few people that might just stray in by mistake. Yeah. This is also in keeping with the human aspirations. So the human aspirations, first all the gamut of desires is pared down to 4. Because 4 is a nice number, Soyam Atma Chatushpat, so 4 is a nice number. Even the Atma is taught through the lens of the waker, the dreamer, the sleeper, and and then you say you are neither the dreamer, nor the sleeper, nor the waker. You are that which, upholds the waking, dream, and sleep states without being any one of them. So 4 is a very sacred number. Even the Brahma Sutras are divided into 4 chapters. Each one is divided into 4 sections. And the Purusharthas are also what? 4 in number. And so the first one is what? The first one has to do with one's place in the Jagat. It's not to do with riches or anything. Because before the riches comes a kind of a comfort level with the people around me. And without that comfort level, riches, fame, name is of no use. Because there is a kind of a hostile environment otherwise. So the first Purushartha is therefore Dharma. Dharma means a certain kind of an inner harmony that is possible to achieve by going with the flow, by going in tandem with what is, rather than trying to make it into what it is not or what I wish for it to be. This is dharma. Everyone wants that harmony naturally. One is craving that harmony because contingent upon that harmony is everything else in the universe. It hinges upon that harmony. And that harmony is called dharma. How is that harmony gained? By just doing what needs to be done. By being one with the flow of what we call righteous actions, righteous ways of being, right relationship to resources. And then at this point one may say, I don't like dharma. I want to go straight to artha. I don't want this harmony business. If one were to say, what we would say is that dharma is the first purushartha because it is, if not directly liked and desired, it is indirectly desired. I may not be dharmic myself. I may be stepping on everyone's toes. But I don't want them to step on my toes. You ask anybody, go anywhere. Do you want people to be mean to you? What is the answer? No. In any language you ask. Do you want to be defrauded? Do you want to be cheated? Do you want to be lied to? Always, it's the negative. And the only way of ensuring that we live in harmony with one another is to follow this dharma. Do unto others as you want to be done to you. This is dharma. It is innate. One is already hardwired for dharma. You don't have to attend Sunday school to know what dharma is. Sunday school only reiterates what you already know. You don't have to attend a school of dharma. Just like the baby monkey doesn't have to attend a school on how to hold on to the mother after being born. Because the mother doesn't have maternity leave, you know. Yeah. The first thing she does after giving birth is what? Jump from one tree to another. And the baby monkey is not a baby kitten. Kitten will be like this. And the mother cat will take it and drag it places and hide it in different places. But the monkey has to be a karta if it wants to be a bhokta, If it wants to be nurtured, nourished, it has to be proactive. It has to hold on to the mother. And this newborn baby monkey, without attending any school, just as it knows, I have to hold on to the mother for dear life, for my survival. It cannot even spell the word survival, it may not know it properly, but it knows. In the same way, dharma is to the human being. It's a lifeline. Even between a pack of people who are given to robbery, there is some kind of a dharma, 50-50, Shallow and a little scary because it can collapse at any time, but it's some kind of a strange dharma, half-half. You distract the people, Okay, this would be a case of one-third. You distract the people, I will rob the bank and you come with a getaway car. One-third. Even there is some kind of a dharma, some agreement, some harmony is there. So that becomes the first purushartha. And that also becomes the basis for following the other purusharthas, artha and kama, because when you follow artha and kama, then what? It has the basis of it is dharma. You can't just go and grab something and do something without consequences. There are consequences. And then what? Moksha, poor thing, at the end it is hanging out by itself. It is sitting in a cafe and having mocha, Poor moksha. This moksha means what? Freedom from being a wanting person. Freedom from being an insecure person. Freedom from being a person who is always longing. Because there is no sense of belonging. This is what the whole thing is. And that cannot be outside of this scheme of things. And so, for the Vedantin, the first three Purusharthas are just swallowed up in the Parama Purushartha, the final one, and in fact for us, the only one, which is what? Moksha. And then the Mumukshu is born. The Mumukshu is the one who says, Moksho me bhuyat iti ichha asti. I have a desire to be free of being a desiring, wanting, relentlessly insecure person and having all kinds of desires to be self-acceptable. And this is the only desire, really. Because in and through all the desires, moksha shines. That's all it does. That's all how it knows what to do. So why do we divide it into 4? Because it is a spoof, really. Because the person is not ready to just see only moksha, so we have to go in stages. But the first portion of the Veda makes one dharmic, makes one into a person who is incapable of not following dharma, if that person is a Vaidika and follows it properly. And then slowly makes one sick of arthakama pursuits because of their finitude. Artha, security, kama, any kind of aesthetic pleasures. I want to see this movie, it has got good reviews, I want to go to that place, I want to go on this pilgrimage. Yes, so many things are there. I want to listen to this music. And moksha, dropping the mantle or the identity of being a wanting, discontented person. So the idea is that by seeking the first portion of the Veda, one becomes what? Ready to go to the second portion of the Veda, called Vedanta, that which appears at the end of the Veda. A merely positional word, a compound which is a positional word. Vedanam antaha. Because generally, the subject matter of the Upanishads, which is the self, is taught at the end, appears at the end. There are some exceptions, like the Mahanarayana Upanishad, which appears in the Veda, its first portion itself, or the other one, which is that Ishavasya Upanishad, appearing in the Samhita portion, in the text of the Veda itself. There is some crossover. But generally, this is at the end. Vedanam antaha. Somebody said, this is what happens if you go to the World Parliament of Religions. I went, and then somebody was talking. I was just going to go to my room to talk. And I heard somebody say Vedanta. Naturally, I said, oh, what are they talking? And the man, I didn't see his face, was explaining. Vedanta, the teeth of the Veda. Because the word, that anta was mistaken for what? Danta. Yeah. This is not the teeth of the Veda, okay? Yeah. Nice imagery, but it's incorrect. And maybe the same thing the people thought, who opened this dental clinic in India where I like to walk. and they named it Vedanta Dental Clinic. Maybe that's what they thought. I'll have to find out. It is not Danta, it is Anta, end. And it is the end, you know why? Because it's the end of the pursuit. Because the pursuit is freedom from being a non-accepting, discontented, wanting, desiring, querulous, complaining person. It is the end. Because the second portion of the Veda is also anadhigata. We have to see the same thing. Anadhigata means not gained by any other means. Not open to any other pramana. Not gained by any other means, not open to any other pramana. This is the only way. It is anadhigata. Because how are you going to get the infinite? You can't get the infinite, it's not an object. You have to only know the infinite. And this infinite is is gained as the truth of oneself. That's the only way to know the infinite. Because that infinite happens to be you. Oh, so the infinite is seeking for the infinite? Yes. When? Infinitely. This is samsara. The infinite one seeking for the infinite, infinitely, is samsara. This life gone, gone, gone. This life I tried to seek the infinite in riches, gone. Next life through family, happiness. The next life gone, infinite gone, didn't get it. Third life I sought it through various, various spiritual quests, which said, catch the toes, catch the nose. Yeah. Catch the toes, yoga. Catch the nose, pranayama. Yeah. This is what the whole thing is. They're also gone. More karma. So infinitely seeking the infinite is not a nice thing. I was saying, recently at a satsang, it's better to be the seeker of the infinite than an infinite seeker. If you are an infinite seeker, one is infinitely unhappy. Because even though one is infinite, one is away from the infinite for want of knowledge. And that knowledge is the second portion of the Veda. But if you are a seeker of the infinite, the quest is finite because the infinite is you. And going with the Veda, then it is very easy. Vedanta teaches you this. And so what? Where does this leave us? It leaves us curious about the second portion of the Veda, Vedanta. How is it, how is it a pramana? It is anadhigata, you can't get it any other way. Stand on the head is good because we promote anything that gives blood circulation to the head. We want you to think clearly. Stand on the head by all means, but you're not going to know you're Brahman. Catch the nose, catch the toes, do puja, do karma, everything becomes a sadhana. A sadhana for what? Sadhana means means. It becomes a means for preparing oneself to understand that the infinite is nothing but you. And it is arthavat, it makes sense. It is relevant to me. It's relevant to me because I gel with it. What is said in Vedanta is totally in keeping with human aspiration for moksha, for gaining everything. And there's only one thing to gain that knowledge, to gain the truth that there is nothing to gain. That's other than oneself. That's all there is to gain. And it is phalabodhakam, it indicates that there is a fulfillment. There is a phala there waiting for me. because, this is the human mind. Even a simple shloka to chant, we have so many shlokas. Panchakshari, Panchakshari shloka. Nagendra Haraya, it goes like that. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, very beautiful shloka. Then there is an interpolation at the end. Because even this 5 stanza shloka we cannot chant without asking the question, what will I get out of it? Mujhe kya milega? What can I get out of it? So we have what is called, at the end of every shloka, Phalashruti. Phalashruti means, listening to this nice, comforting thought of what you will get if you chant this. Even a simple chant we cannot do. Prayojanam anuddishya, Adi Shankara says, Mandopi karmani na pravartate. Even the dullest person will not do anything without asking first the question, what is the prayojana? What will I get out of it? And so too, to be committed to Vedanta, of course that is a big raging question, because it is a committed pursuit. What on earth am I getting out of this? And this is what is the answer given in the Mundakopanishad. Vidyate hridaya granthihi chidyante sarva samshayaha kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. What do you mean? What you will get out of it? You want me to spell it out? Yes, I want you to spell it out. Mundakopanishad obliges, and she says that the heart knot is torn asunder. What is this heart knot? This tight feeling in the heart, is that what it is? That is a metaphoric heart knot. Granthi means a knot. And the knottiest, pun intended, problem in Vedanta is self-ignorance. Ignorance is the knot. And that self-ignorance goes, Bhidyate hridaya granthihi, the heart knot is torn asunder. I know who I am, finally I'm reunited with this infinite for which I have been hankering, of which I have received a few glimpses here and there, at best seeming very elusive. And then what? What else happens? Chidyante sarva samshayaha. Sarva samshayaha. All doubts, second-guessing myself, second-guessing other people. How can I be the whole? What is going on? What is this? How to do this? Who am I? And will I come back? What will happen to me? What kind of an old age will I have? Will I be surrounded by people pressing my hands and legs? Or will I be all alone somewhere? All these doubts become useless. Chidyante, they are destroyed. And then what? Kshiyante cha asya karmani. Karma, karmani, karmani. Singular, dual, plural. 1, 2, more than 2. So we are talking of how many? Multiple karmas. Not just one karma. And then in the Shastra we have a way of looking at karma. What is that? Prarabdha, the karma that one has come to exhaust. Sanchita, the karma that one is yet to exhaust. Agami, the karma that one does in one's life, which goes and joins Sanchita. And Sanchita is what? Endless karma. And the Shastra makes a little fun. Samyak, chitaha, sanchitaha, nicely collected over the lifetimes. There is a vyangya. Very nicely collected. Over lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, nicely collected, sanchita, never comes to an end. Here you thought Brahman is endless, but Brahman has a competitor, which is what? Sanchita karma. Fortunately, it relies on Brahman, it leans on Brahman, it doesn't have an independent existence. We'll be seeing that. And so therefore it doesn't matter. So it cannot really compete. Sanchita, Agami, Prarabdha, all the karmas go. Ayyo, up till now I was with you. I was ready to go for it. I was quite inspired. But Prarabdha goes means I also go. Ayyo. So that means what? The person sees, I am Brahman, gone. Prarabdha means end of this body, you know. As I told you already, Vedanta attracts very few people. But if they read this mantra, then even fewer will come. Nobody will come. First of all, where will be the teacher? Because the one who would have been a teacher, gone. So anybody who teaches will not know what they are teaching. Those who know are gone. So Prarabdha here, doesn't mean that the person, is coming, the body is coming to an end. Prarabdha here means, the Prarabdha is gone from the standpoint of the knower, the jnani, knower of this knowledge. Prarabdha is gone means what? There is no association with the body. There is no identification with the body. One is asanga to the body. From the standpoint of the drashta, the seers, the people who are seeing this person, who is a jnani, they will say, yeah, the jnani is having prarabdha. They see the jnani aging, they see the jnani in a wheelchair. They say the jnani having mahasamadhi, so they say there is prarabdha. But prarabdha is for what? The body. And the jnani is not the body. From the jnani's own standpoint, prarabdha is gone. Sanchita, gone. Agami, gone. Why? Because one has woken up to a reality where this karma has no currency. You've woken up from a dream. And in the dream, if 3 fellows were beating you, when you wake up, you don't have to protect yourself. Why? There is no prahara, there is no karma prahara. Because the karta is falsified, therefore the karma phala is also falsified. There is no karta, there is no doer. It's like a dead person's credit or debit. No doer there. And when does this happen? Tasmin Brahmani, when one sees in that Brahman, para and avara together. And what is this para? This para is nothing but the cause. Avara, effect. So the effect, non-separate from the cause, one meaning. Another meaning, para, that which is the ultimate. Avara, that which is lowly, myself, this jiva, the one who thought, I am so small, oh God, you are all. I am because you are the cause. I am odd and you are God. The one who said that. The one who sees oneself as one with that. For that person, all these things go. No sorrow, no fear, no tears. And therefore, Vedanta, is a means of knowledge that gifts this result along with the vision of that oneness. More we'll see in the evening class at 5 o'clock. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadagya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.